Hello there, fellow space farmers. Rodamont here. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Brutal Vulcan. Episode 18. Trading for new seeds for the greenhouse. Now, the pollutant tank and the volatiles tank should be nice and full. Yep, that's very full. At some point, I should probably automate this so that I don't have to, remember. But this is going to superheat up the base. Again, I don't have a heat exchanger, so we're using the base's atmosphere for heat exchange, which is not great, but, there isn't a more elegant solution yet without investing time in it. But you voted for trade, so you get trade. So the satellite dish, the medium satellite dish requires solder, so we can't make that yet. The computer, we can make now. So I'll make everything else and wire it all up, waiting on the dish. And then we'll need a pretty sizable landing pad. Is that okay, the landing pad is the electronics. I thought so. And they've changed the way that landing pads work since the last I played this, so if you're following along, it's not the same. It's quite different. Okay, this is the spare O2 tank. Got it. Because yeah, I mean, look how little oxygen we have. I can't even pressurize this now. Barely. And then the communications motherboard needs some silver. I need 1 gram of silver, apparently. I'll go get that now. So the computer is what it does most of the work contacting the traders. And you're going to want the computer. You want to look at you want the computer and your satellite dish near one another so that you can see the inputs. For this setup, I'm going to want the satellite dish here on heavy cables and the computer behind a transformer on smaller cables just for the cost. I'm going to make it cheap. But it's good that the batteries are already starting to fill up, because then there will be enough power in the battery to contact stuff. I haven't checked up on my coolant tank in a while. It's about right. I might want to change it just a wee bit, so it empties out a bit farther. So I think I have it set at 25, so maybe 28 would hit a sort of equilibrium. Really? Already? I thought I just dumped my waste tank. Oh, it's because my air tank is so hot because I superheated the base. Right. Okay. Yeah. That's one of the problems of having hot oxygen in your air tanks. And that's just fundamentally a problem that I'm going to have until I get a heat exchanger and a secondary coolant tank. I'll just burn through my oxygen because my oxygen is a terrible air conditioning. I think I'm going to use this backup oxygen because this backup oxygen isn't superheated. And that way, That way I won't flood my waste tank with hot oxygen. So there's the comms motherboard. I'm going to want a transformer, small transformer, and cables. So the transformer is just so that I can separate the high watt and the low watt coming off the communications battery. Make a stack of small cables. You could do it all off of high cables, the heavy watt cables. It's not economical, so I'm not going to bother. I hadn't considered that trying to have the oxygen and the hydrogen be the same temperature is like super detrimental to my waste tanks. Always more cables? Yes. Never have enough of this stuff. Still probably too hot for solder. And then we'll start to make landing pads. And I'm going to want 25, well, 26 sort of landing pads. 25 would be a 5x5, and then you need like one that connects up data and power. So it's like sort of 26. You'll see. So landing pads, basic. And not atmospheric and not runway. The basic stuff. So the idea here is 400 watts, probably enough. Just for cost, we'll keep them separate. And then this heavy watt cable will eventually, once I have more of them, lead to the comms dish. Insert the motherboard. And now the motherboard wants to be data connected to a satellite dish and a landing pad. Which, you know, is to be done. Still too hot for solder, so we can't do that yet. I should hydrate. Another one of the advantages of having crew quarters, which is separate from the base, is like there is not a the heat treating the rest of the base as a heat sink doesn't really matter to me in here, because this is thermally isolated from the rest of the system. These the water is insulated and everything, so it's totally fine. Alright, with all of these landing pads, I'm also going to want frames to put them on, because, you know, they can't, like, float on their own. And I might just do iron frames, just because making large batches of iron is not that hard. So I've already got some iron sheets, not many. But we'll want 26-ish iron frames. Just because I'm using the steel and a bunch of other for a bunch of other things. So make as many iron frames that can go in as possible. Oh, that was dumb. About 10 more landing pads. And it might be cool enough for solder, just about. I also don't have enough heavy watt cables, too. It's a project. Luckily, once it's done, you know, doesn't need to be revisited unless we want to unlock the last tier of traders. So essentially, there are what I would consider like close, medium, and far traders. And the farther the trader is, the more high quality their goods are. So you have like tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 goods. Tier 1 goods would be like basic ores, that kind of thing. And I'm sure we'll contact some of those traders because there's no reason not to. So you'll see the what I'm talking about soon. And then tier 2 traders have a wider variety of stuff, and tier 3 traders have like rare stuff, like alien seeds and things like that. You know, things that you won't typically find on other traders. So I'm out of... No, we're still making them. So 23, and I think I needed 26. Yeah, 26. Very steel expensive, as you can see. And then that's not even the full cost of the steel, because finishing the pads itself requires steel as well. So if you look at like a landing pad basic kit, when you are trying to make like a landing pad, you need to weld steel to it on top of it. So I'm going to need to make another batch of steel, which I could probably prep tonight. But let's get the solder. Oh, it's like too cold. Oh, there it goes. Solder. So very easy. And then the satellite dish itself needs a steel sheet and a plastic sheet. There's the medium dish. I've got a steel sheet and a plastic sheet. While this prints, I'll start putting frames down. Because I'm juggling a few too many items. Technically speaking, where you put the landing pads, I don't believe you need them welded underneath. I'll double check, because that could be a cost saver if you don't. No, it doesn't matter. Cool. No, then I don't need the iron for all of that welding. Very good. I should grab stuff for steel. Because if I can outgas it, then midday tomorrow I can just smelt it for a batch 200. Easy peasy. So likely what I'm going to be buying is fern seeds. Fern seeds is going to allow me to make more medical pills and also a lot more oxygen for the water. Ferns are more efficient at converting carbon dioxide into oxygen than any other crop other than a very rare crop that I'm not likely going to be able to find called Darga ferns, which would require me to have the largest possible landing pad and probably an atmospheric one. It's just not worth it. I'm vetoing that as a concept because it's just so expensive for the benefit. And then also, you know, maybe oils, soy for soy oil so I can make French fries. I probably don't want to get involved in making,
Waste tank caution.
ah, crap. I probably don't want to get involved in making, like eggs. I just don't care for that gameplay loop of running my own chicken coop. And it's not strictly necessary for survival, so I'll probably not do that. Oh, my air tank. Well, now we're going to have to deal with... I know. Super hot. Oh, that was weird. Super hot oxygen.
Air tank critical. Air tank low.
I screwed that up.
Air tank critical.
I think there's now CO2 in this. There shouldn't be any CO2 in that. So I need to fix that. Crap. One little misclick. Pretty easy to fix, though. I just need to break that pipe, and then that will actually empty this out, so then I can put a empty can into the ox filler. I just don't want carbon dioxide leaking where carbon dioxide shouldn't be. There we go. Fixed. So now this is oxygen. Granted, it's... Oh, actually, it cooled down a bit. Did I adjust it? No, I never did. Trying for 28. Okay, my air tank, waste tank's good, battery's good, filter's good, water and hydration's fine. Let's go make this satellite dish. So you're gonna want the satellite dish's dials sort of facing you, so that you can manipulate the dish while you're looking at the computer. That might be an annoying spot, but if I had another platform here, it'd be okay. So I'll leave it there. So let's weld the steel to it. And then plastic. A wrench. And then plastic. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to want something to stand on. But essentially, you're going to want to be able to look at the computer and look at the dials of the dish at the same time, if you're doing it manually. Alright, back to what I was working on. Making steel. And now I can actually see the iron, so that's going to be useful. Can you be crushed by the dish? Hypothetically, I guess, but it doesn't move very fast. It moves really slow. So, probably it moves so slow, as one of the game mechanics to avoid you crushing yourself. Possibly. Don't quote me on that, but like... moves... maybe a centimeter a second, something like that. It's just, it's not quick. So, I don't think it's like a clang concern. It's gonna nudge you more than it's gonna crush you. Probably. But you never know. I mean, you know, things can get weird. So, it's not quite hot enough outside to smelt steel. I'm outgassing the rest of that spare gas. So, let's go make a few heavy cables while we wait. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, hot oxygen sucks. It's just dumping to waste over and over. Plus, the hot oxygen is also less moles of oxygen for its pressure. So you're getting less breathing for that too. It's a compounding issue, in other words. And I think the way where I put the satellite dish, I only need maybe like 3 heavy, or let's do 4 heavy cables. Oh, hydration. Got it. Okay, cool. Yep. All right. We're definitely getting our batch of steel. That just needs to pressurize a little bit. Awesome. So now that's plugged in, and then we just plug the data port in there. So it's drawing power and data sort of separately. Because the dish is just so power hungry. Thank you for the steel. All my batteries are full. Sweet. Cool. So now that we have the dish, we need stuff for the landing pads. So let me see. We have what? If we do the landing pads behind this thing, we've got... Let's start the landing pads here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't need this one there. So for my convenience, I will put a standing place here for myself. So we've got 8 of 25? Something like that. So let's get some iron just to make more frames. And I don't need to weld them. Because I don't think the welding is necessary. And Fred Jones, thank you for the resub. Oh, god damn it. Waste tank. Yeah. Oh my god. Yep, okay. Chill my oxygen. The need for a coolant loop is very evident now. A heat exchanger, rather. Although the base is, well, it's still 75 Celsius. If I put my AC off, I could stretch it, but I would, like, slowly cook myself. I think I'm out of iron. Yep, I'm out of iron. Let's hydrate, eat, and then go get some more iron. Another thing I could do is use my spare suit Because my spare suit probably has more temperate oxygen in it, but then that just, like, screws my future self if I have an emergency. So I won't be doing that, but, like, I acknowledge that I could. Actually, with all the steel that I have, let's just make frames. So I need 17 more frames, I think. And because I'm not welding them, they don't really matter. So I need 17 frames and 24 steel sheets. One per landing pad. And then the landing pad data, I think is 10 cables. Yep, 10 cable coils. Which I have 29, so we should be okay. So 17 frames and 25 total sheets, because I already have one in my inventory. So I think I will be able to complete the landing pad this stream. I'll go a little bit over time just to finish this project. It's not to say that I'm necessarily going to be able to contact anyone. I mean, I'll try, but at least the pad setup will be done. Ooh, I have no gas left in the canister. Got it? And now I do. I love how refueling my welder also gives me water. Like, yeah, there we go. So we'll combust off the rest of that fuel, because a lot of gas got mixed quickly. One more. Oh, perfect timing. Okay, I think I have everything. Well, no, I don't have the sheets. At least they're quick. It's hard to imagine that it's actually combusting right now. Is my combustor really on? Yeah, it's on. Huh, it's combusting pretty slow. I mean, I see the steam going up, but I'm just surprised. Whatever. Only oxygen would need to be welded on Vulcan? Yeah, there's plenty of hydrogen gas in the atmosphere. It's one of the things, like if you have an oxygen leak in your base and you have volatiles in the atmosphere, it will just combust. It's real dangerous to have oxygen anywhere. So like if I opened a canister of oxygen in the atmosphere of Vulcan, it would just explode. Fun stuff. Alright, that's, I think, all I need for the landing pad. Air tank, waste tank. I'll flip the waste tank around. And the oxygen tank, because I just burned through it so quickly. Alright, let's finish this bad boy. So we want a 5x5. I decided that I'm just going to go for a 5x5. We can always make it bigger in the future. Not a big deal. So that's 5 across already. And these don't need to be welded because the landing pads themselves will be welded on top. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's big. Then I'm going to do the landing pad center in the center. And the arrows are the direction that they land from. So I'm going to have them land from that direction there. And then everything else is just going to be basic landing pad. And then we're going to weld the steel on top once it's done. So the center is the only one that really matters. And as you can see, each landing pad has its own data port, which is important because they all interconnect. My welder is like blown up a little bit. Chill, welder, chill. I guess the ratio was slightly off, so there's like unspent oxygen. I'm okay. Okay, so now they'll land from this direction. There is a hill there, but I don't think it's going to block it. Then the last piece of this equation is the data port, which I'll put here. No, I won't, because that's in the way. I'll put it here. So I'm going to want like another frame or two. And to build this, I just need cable coils. Done. So it can float. It doesn't matter, but I just for my sanity, I'll make it. Oh, it needs to connect to data. Just for my sanity, I'll have it, you know, be on frames. Because it looks stupid otherwise. And that there is a functional landing pad. Ugly as sin, and like kind of incomplete. But let's turn everything on. And connect up to our first victim. So with everything on, we have a Green Futures, which actually might be a farmer. Green Futures trader. So there's two types of traders, essentially. Well, all right, there's a bunch of different types of traders. But there are robot traders and human traders. Human traders, or like organic traders. Organic traders require like a pressurized area for them to trade in, which I am not trading with. I'm only going to be trading with robots at the moment. And what you do is you angle your dish to try to make contact with them. So we can go to like 45 vertical, which is going to be maybe allows us to contact a wider variety of people. Or robots, I should say. And then you can also change the horizontal angle. And they're out there somewhere. I can't see them. But we're going to angle the dish in order to try to connect with them. So once this is at 45... And yeah, it's slow. But you can see why we would want the dish and the computer next to one another so that you can... There we go. So I'm 37 degrees off from contact, and if I try to contact them right now, I will need to burn some power to do it, but that's fine. That's not a lot. so I'll do it. Then we spend the power out of this battery to interrogate a communications connection. And then once we are connected via communications with them, you can ask them to land. Trader has requested permission to land. Land. And there's the trade vessel coming down the angle of the landing pad. Also, don't let them land on you, it will kill you. So, yeah, that can crush you. And I have this off a dedicated battery because sometimes when you try to interrogate a contact, it will cost a lot of power and it can drain your everything. And now I can just walk up to this dude and be like, hey, fern seeds? Don't mind if I do. Buy, please. And he has other seeds here too. Tomato, wheat. But I'm going to start with just the ferns, because the ferns are oxygen producers. And then I can sell him stuff. So if I had a box of muffins, I could sell it to him for 175. If I had ship refuel gas, which I don't have anything to sell him right now. What I could do is I could sell 2 hydroponic trays to him. That's like not hard to source for a little bit of money. And the money that I had, you start off with a credit card with 200, I guess, what, euros on it? So, yeah. And he'll just wait here for me to get the hydro trays, which I don't even think I have the iron for, but I'm going to complete this trade before end of stream because I want to. Don't need a better reason than that. But there we go. My first trade, my first landing pad and everything, and I got the fern seeds I was after. Delicious. And those fern seeds are going to allow me to convert carbon dioxide into oxygen in a much better ratio than potatoes. So I'll phase out a bunch of the planters for potatoes because I just won't need them anymore. That's the way it works. So I can, let's turn this on and rotate it 90 degrees to see if I get someone else to potentially contact. And like every, like, I think it's like 10 or 20 minutes, you'll get like a different set of traders. And it's just benefits you to periodically check to see if there's a new set of traders for you to contact and trade with. But really, honestly, I was only after, like, fern seeds, and if I could get a little bit more money, I would consider buying some of the other seeds. One of the advantages of getting tomatoes is, canned tomatoes are shelf-stable. So you can get a canner and can your tomatoes so that they keep and they don't spoil. Oh my god, why, tomato would be a lot easier to do. So tomato soup, which is soy oil, tomato, and there's the same with pumpkin. Pumpkin soup. And anything you put in a steel can keeps much better than the just raw. And the quality of the sustenance that you take in affects your, like, stats. I did want 2 hydro trays to sell to him, so I'll print 2 up. And some of the things, if they're items you can have in your inventory, if it's like gases or liquids, you need it in gas or liquid storage, which is a totally different thing than I'm not about to show at the moment. But just know that you can't just, like, cup your hands with water and hand it to them. That's not how they take their water. Or gas. So we have these fern seeds, and maybe what I'll do is I'll sell these trays to him And then plant the fern seeds. That will be the very, very, very last thing I do. To celebrate the fact that we are going to be producing oxygen cheaper. Sell. 2 fern seeds. And then depart. And now I'll have 130 on my credit card. Because I sold those trays. And we do have void vein vendors. But this is a 7x7 landing pad required and a 15 length runway, which I do not have. So even if I contacted them, I would not be able to sell to them. And the reason why I have all of this is if I'm done trading, I can just shut the kit battery off if I want to make it really easy to just shut everything down. Although it wouldn't charge it in that case, so I'll just go the effort of turning this off. Okay. So we did do the trade system. That is done. The last thing is plant ferns. Plant ferns. And what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to eventually have the entire farm, except for like maybe 7 planters, or 5 planters be ferns. So I'll keep like a row of potatoes. But I'm not going to tear them all up right now. I'm going to do them, 3 at a time. So I'll keep the leftmost, I'll keep the front row potatoes, I guess, so I can see them through the window pretty easily. And I'll start to do the ferns in the back. Which is gonna, oh, I only got 1 potato from that. Lame. Which is gonna be harder to see, but whatever. Eventually this whole thing will be burned. And I still have 2.3 liters of water here. So, if you want to know, the reason I did this. A potato produces 8.6 moles per hour of oxygen. A fern produces 17. It's just shy of 3 times more efficient. It's the same water usage. Now, there is plant genetics that we can get into later on to try to make a more efficient fern if we want. But that's going to be a future goal. So there we go. We got our first ferns. Easy peasy. And the farm maybe needs to be a little pressurized. There we go. But now we're a fern farmer. And the other advantage of the ferns is I can turn into medical pills. So in a chem station, you can make a pill medical. And a pill medical is essentially for crushed ferns, cobalt and silver. And that way, if I ever take lung damage, I can cure it. Because I had 1 waste take incident this stream and used my only medical pills. So if I want any more medical pills, I'm going to have to make them from scratch because as a challenge for this run, I'm not allowing myself to buy anything that I could reasonably make. So, I can't buy medical pills because I have the means to make them now. I don't know why I put the potato seeds in here.
Hydration critical.
I know, that's why I'm in this room, lady. Jesus. Sassing me. All right. I think, friends, this is where I'm going to leave off for today. Having managed to expand our power grid for more solar panels and then enclosing them so they're storm protected. We built this room, our respawn, spare suit, oxygenated, temperature controlled room with like windows into the rest of the base. And then the landing pad trade system, allowing us to buy the fern seeds. And now that we have the fern seeds, I basically don't need to use the landing pad anymore. We could have just done the 3x3. I can always try to trade because I wouldn't mind earning a little bit more cash so I could increase the variety of seeds that I have and crop variety. But still, I feel accomplished. We did a good job. We didn't die. We almost died, but we didn't die. And we are leaving off here. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Brutal Vulcan, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow engineers.